Life happens. Weekdays, 1 to 3 p.m.
It's 11 minutes past 1 on SAfm 104 to 107 over. So coming up on the show, by the way, we're here till 3. At now, in a short while, we're looking at a tweet that celebrates an anniversary, but it ended up becoming a sort of movement and a safe haven for many people. The Jewa Ke Eng tweet. Bra Willy Seyama is here to talk about that tweet and the 12 lessons about a tweet that became a movement. Is it a movement? We'll ask him. And with that liftoff, Jewa Ke Eng, not Gishap, but Jewa Ke Eng is a tweet that became a movement. And last year, that tweet went viral and helped people share their frustrations and issues that at the time they were facing. And we want to talk the 12 lessons about that tweet that became a movement with Bra Willy Seyama, who's an author and wrote 12 lessons about a tweet that became a movement. How are you?
I'm okay, and yes, KG.
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the show. Is it a movement? Because, to me, right, it's a small universe that Twitter plays, particularly in a country full of people who cannot even afford data, right? There is a movement of South Africans who do not even know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's people who are in KZN listening to me who are not on Twitter who are like, why was that tweet important?
Well, let me take you back, KG. I want to quote just two stats because they will help with context. Mm-hmm. The one is, much as I hear what you're saying about the fact that, Twitter is not the whole of South Africa.
It's not the whole world either.
True.
Yeah.
But it drives conversations in many ways.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
If Donald Trump's tweets are anything to go by, it
all
tells you
a
what
little
it
bit.
does.
Yeah.
There are about 6,000 tweets
mm-hmm.
that are published every second
mm-hmm.
as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the latest stats. The second one is a tweet is estimated to last about 18 minutes.
Mm. I've had one that stayed for 2 days.
Well, the numbers vary.
Yeah.
The last one that I've seen is 18 minutes.
Okay.
And I suppose when you look at the two stats together, they kind of make sense because when you're getting a flood of 6,000 tweets every second, surely each tweet can't be lasting that long.
Yeah.
And because Twitter doesn't have, geographic boundaries, it means that, they're coming at you from all angles.
Yes.
And despite this, you have a single tweet, that gets published at around 7 o'clock in the evening on the 5th of January, 2019. And to this day, we're still talking about it.
Is that the reason why you take such interest in Jewa Ke Eng? Because it's a simple case of somebody saying, what's wrong? And every single day, anywhere you go in the world, everybody has something that is wrong that they're dealing with.
I suppose it's more than that. Because if the advocates of Jewa Ke Eng themselves, if what they say is anything to go by, the tweet has become a movement because everybody who has a problem and has access to Twitter, they go to Jewa Ke Eng. And here's the interesting thing about this particular tweet. It is the most quoted tweet in the world ever.
But where do you get those stats? Because I saw something about something in China. The issue is the uniqueness in terms of language, because people who are in Honduras, who are on Twitter, have no idea what Jewa Ke Eng means. What makes it have staying power at a global level, considering that it is in one of our indigenous languages?
Absolutely. Now, In the 12 lessons that I shared about this tweet,
we'll go into that just now.
The one thing that I talked to is the fact that it's, in my experience, it has been the one tweet that has been most easily found, despite the fact that it's been in circulation for such a long time. You must try it with any of the other tweets. You battle to access a tweet that was published so long ago.
But again, for me, it goes back to the argument that every day, wherever you go in the world, somebody's facing one crisis or the other. But that's fine. That's me. You say the lessons, the 12 lessons with Jewa Ke Eng. Let's talk about those 12 lessons. You say it's a testimony. There's humaneness to it, advocacy, relevance to traditional media attention, internationalization, influencer participation, demonstrate referrals, authority, transparency, embodiment. I think I've covered all of them. What value do you think it's added to the girl? What's her name again? I forgot her name now. Gabethu Jan. Right? What value has that tweet added to her life? Yena Jewa Ke Eng, I mean, how, because that's how we measure brand value, isn't it? If you're measuring any brand year on year, it's a year for this brand. How has brand her grown as a result of her writing that tweet on that morning on the 5th of January? Because I may be wrong, but my guess is that she wasn't meaning to be brand worthy. She was probably wanting to lash out herself. We're now Jewa Ke Eng, Nike Jewa Ke kind of set up.
Absolutely. But before I answer that question, KG, you asked a very important question about, how do we know for sure that Jewa Ke Eng has been the most quoted tweet? This information came from Twitter itself. So we can believe it as such, because if it was said by anyone else, it would be an issue. And I do actually give the link to that so that people can check it out themselves, which is great. But let's talk about brand
value.
Gabet. When Gabet first tweeted this, and you're right, it was not her intention for this thing to blow up in the way that it did. In fact, she says so herself in a YouTube video talking about this whole tweet. She wasn't even verified at the time. And since then, she got verified. She gained lots and lots of followers. She's become really very active on Twitter, and she's now involved in all sorts of programs. One such that they're busy with now is a back to school program, where she's asking people to donate shoes and stationery and uniforms and all those sorts of things. I actually blogged previously about this in July last year, because I only discovered this tweet in March last year, by the way. And at that stage, I said, I suspect that she actually has discovered her calling. And when I look at what has happened since, I'm even more convinced now that she has in fact discovered her calling insofar as how this thing has turned out. Okay, look, when we come back, before we round off, I want to talk about how you think it has redefined the way South Africans use Twitter, and how effective it has been in redefining South Africans' lives, because most of the time, particularly us black people on Twitter, can never afford to go to a psychologist for that 300 rand a session get together, and perhaps that get together, that tweet allowed for us to vent and talk about our own issues. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We're talking about the tweet Jewa Ke Eng, a year of an anniversary into it, with Willy Seyama, founder of Initiator. It's 21 past 1.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAfm 104.5 FM in Oat Bay.
Welcome back to Life Happens on SAfm 104 to 107 FM nationwide. Jewa Ke Eng is the tweet that we're talking about at the time of its anniversary. In fact, the anniversary was the 5th of January, because it was tweeted on the 5th of January 2019. And if you are to believe Bra Willy Seyama, founder of Initiator, that tweet is a movement. You say it's a movement because of the number of retweets and things? Because the level of advocacy that we're finding with that tweet now has become
something else.
Yeah. How do you think, though, that tweet shaped South Africans and their ability to express their pain? Because we're not a people who are keen to express our pain or our frustrations. In fact, we're almost taught black, I suppose I can only have the black view because I'm black. I don't have any other view. We're almost taught to, keep it together. The world mustn't see your problems. You mustn't, don't show even the neighbors that, you're suffering. How do you think it has shaped our psyche in terms of being able to express the things that are not entirely 100% with us?
Well, in a funny way, social media as a channel has actually amplified this whole thing of us being able to share our pain with the world. Mm-hmm. And Jewa Ke Eng specifically, in my view, has actually just sped that on, because now people believe, at least, that when they put out their pain, somebody will help them.
Absolutely.
So from that perspective, I do believe that it has, added quite an interesting twist, if one can use the word, to the view that I'm not only speaking to myself, somebody is listening, and that somebody is Kiabet.
Yeah, but do you think it also shifted the way people use Twitter in general? It's no longer good morning, because there's people who tweet good morning. I'm thinking, gee, I don't have time for this. I didn't come here for this. Do you think it's shifted the way we tweet, particularly us as South Africans?
To be honest, I don't know if it did shift necessarily, as KG, but the one thing that I think it has done, we still do.
Yeah.
Many of us think of Twitter as this negative platform.
Yeah.
And with
it does have a degree of negativity,
but what I think Jewa Ke Eng has done, is showed that there is a positive side to Twitter.
Yeah.
If people use it for good purpose, actually they can achieve it. And it has also shown that as South Africans, we actually have good hearts.
Yeah.
And if we are being called on to do something about a situation, we do so.
Fantastic. We're the same people who organized the whole KFC wedding, by the way.
There you go.
Don't play with us. What do you think is the future, though? The prediction, according to you, of the future of Jewa Ke Eng? Do you feel that there's a point at which it won't be as effective, or it's going to become a bigger movement? What do you think is going to happen?
When it comes to Twitter or social media generally, one can't
predict
exactly, because stuff happens. I mean, even Kia herself didn't think that this thing was going to become what it has become now. Unfortunately for her, she was available such that when it blew, she really just took this challenge and ran with it. Many people are not able to do that.
Yeah.
So time will tell, I guess.
Time will tell. And you blogged about this conversation. When you blogged, so much had already been written, though. Why did you feel you needed to add your voice?
Well, I come at this with three hats. Because I don't come at it necessarily as just a reporter. I come at it with a digital marketer who's wearing an insights, a strategy, and a content hat. And I go and look for those particular insights, and those are the insights that I shared in the 12 lessons. And I did check, by the way, to see, what were the angles used by the previous online publishers, and none of them were talking about what insights are coming from this, which digital marketers can actually learn from.
Where can people find you if they want to learn more from you and your marketing mind?
I am very active on social media, but you can find me on Twitter for ease of use, even though I take your point about the fact that not everybody is on Twitter. I am on Twitter as Willy _Seyama, and I'm also very active on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. All the best.
Thank you so much, SKG.
Thank you so much.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAfm 104.5 FM in Oat